Welcome to On Fire to Inspire. I am your host, Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. I thank you for joining us tonight as we're doing part two of the Queens Empowering the Kings. But before we hop on, I want to thank our sponsors. And while I thank our sponsors, I want y'all to do me a favor. Hit that share button and share it with your friends, your family, because we want to empower, encourage, inspire, and motivate the men in our lives, whether it's your father, your husband, your brother, your boyfriend, whoever, the men in your life, get them on here because we're going to encourage and empower them. Um, I want to thank our sponsors again. Y'all can hit share, tag someone while I thank our sponsors. I want to thank our sponsor, mombizboss.org, multiple operational managers. If you are a mom and you're an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, you want to connect with this group. I tell you, this network of ladies they're all phenomenal. Everyone's business have businesses, they're business minded. You can learn and glean from each other. It's just an awesome opportunity to connect with other like-minded people, to learn, grow and glean from each other. Again, that's mombizboss.org. Then we have um, Dance with Mina. We have Dance with Mina, and Dance with Mina over in Facebook land is MENA, Dance with Mina. You can go over and like her page. Once you like her page, then you can go over and uh, request a virtual link when there are classes. Classes are held on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. So on Monday nights is Zumba. On Thursday nights is line dance and line dance. A lot of times it's line dance cardio, y'all. It's so much fun. And again, if you are not in person, there are virtual opportunities available. So make sure you do that. Um, we have, let's see here, y'all. I'm trying to remember everybody. That's why I have to give myself notes. Um, Dance with Mina. Again, I'm going to put that link over there. Go like her page, follow her page, and if you're interested in joining one of the sessions, hop on over and inbox her and tell her, hey, I would love a link so that you can participate in the session that evening. I want to do a shout out to my girl Lee, Creative Lee. Thank you so much for my cup. Y'all see my cup? It's mine. She does cups, t-shirts, blankets. She embroidered my blanket is a custom blanket. She blings out shoes, Crocs. Uh, when I said t-shirts, sweatshirts, y'all, you name it. I ain't seen the creativity like this in a while, but y'all, creatively, and I'm going to copy and paste that over there as well, because y'all, the way she spells it, I'll mess it all the way up. Okay, so I'm gonna mess it up if I don't give it to y'all in a copy and paste. So that's creatively. Thank you again for my custom cup. And then finally, if you don't have any of my books, you have the opportunity to get it. Any of them are on Amazon. They're on my Linktree link, and you can get the children's book, The Teacher's Foundational English and Spanish. You can get On Fire to Inspire the book. You can get the ebook, and we have the I Am Affirmations Journal, the I Am Inspirational Adult Coloring Book that has inspiration and affirmations throughout. And then at the end of it, there are affirmations in full as well as scriptures to confirm it. And then I'll copy and paste that in there for you guys as well. If you have someone in your life that you want to sow that into, hey, great evening, great evening. All right, y'all. So I'm so excited about tonight's topic. So if you have not already, hop on over and share this link, tag someone, because we're getting started with the queens. They're ready to come to empower our kings, and they're coming in their own way. So let's come bring them forward. Our first person is Mom Biz Boss founder, creator herself, Teresa Wright Johnson. Welcome back to On Fire to Inspire. How are you?
I'm great. Can you hear me?
I can now. Yes.
I was trying to do what you told me to do. What you told me to do. You told me to like, share, do all those things. So I was trying to share the video so people can see it. So I'm
Thank you.
excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm ready to talk about being moms, multiple operational managers, and women that not just empowering each other as mothers and women, but what about those men in our lives?
Okay.
Brothers, sons, cousins, uncles, husbands, fathers. Let's talk about empowering them because, girl, we do some sisterhood empowerment all the time. How can we empower them? How can we support them? I'm looking forward to this conversation to learn more, to glean for myself as well.
Great, great, great. So, Teresa, I want you to introduce yourself for the listeners who may have, this is the first time hearing us. They may have been scrolling and they're like, hey, wait a minute. I want to hear this. So, I don't know this lady. Introduce yourself.
Well, thank you first, Aaliyah, for the opportunity. I'm excited to always be a sponsor with Mom Biz Boss for this wonderful program for a few years now and all the great work you do, inspiring people and getting them on fire for information topics and things to better support ourselves. So I'm Teresa Wright Johnson, the Mom Biz Boss. I am a certified life coach, business coach, and parent educator. And did y'all know I'm a certified marriage coach too? Shh, be quiet, because my husband really don't like hearing that. Because maybe I think I know what I'm doing. But anyway, but I am the founder of Mom Biz Boss. It is an organization that focuses on motherhood, parenting, business, and social awareness. I have a very vast network of women that care about families, children, and community. And then I also am a mental health instructor and a parent educator. So that's what I do. And talking about this topic today is great for me because many times people say, you know what, women, y'all are so busy. We're empowering each other. Men are different from us. They're not as communal as us. However, they need to be empowered and lifted as well. So that's me, Aaliyah. I guess I'm gonna go on because she just dropped me off, right? So I guess I'm supposed to talk now, y'all, but I could do it all day because I also am an international speaker and an international best-selling author. So I love to speak and talk, but most of all, I love to use lived experience. And so when I heard this topic, Aaliyah said, hey, can you come and speak? And I was like, why she want us to speak? We're women. And then I thought about it. She was saying, as a woman, maybe what are some of the things or we should do to encourage men? And so I know a few things from studying, from having that certification. But guess what? I'm not a man. I'm not a man. I'm not a brother. I'm not a husband. I'm not a son. I'm not a nephew. I'm not a father. So what I decided to do is to ask a few men, hey, what are some of the things that you would like people to know in regards to empowering men? So the first thing that I want to say is, ladies, let's sometimes slow down. I'm someone that is always busy, right? But let's sometimes slow down. Women speak more words a day than men. We move differently. We are multifaceted. But sometimes maybe let's slow down and just give them some time and some ear space. So one way to empower them is to give them quality time, whether it's your brother, your husband, your father. Give them quality time and also listening. So that's what my words were. But when I asked these guys that I interviewed, one of the things they said is women may need to be more respectful. What does that mean, y'all? I was like, be more respectful. They're like, women want doors open for them, or sometimes men will open doors for us. And some of us are like, we powerful. We don't need you to open the door for us. Or we may not say thank you. Say thank you, right? Be courteous. Just like we like the chivalry of them opening doors and doing things for us because they're males and we're women. Say thank you. I make it a point. Whether I was getting on the train and someone gave me a seat to sit down because I was standing up, or whether someone opens the door for me. I think yesterday, was it yesterday? Well, Sunday, went to the movies and it was fun. But I remember my husband opened the door and then this other guy opened the door, like the next door I had to walk into. And I was like, wow, double service. Thank you. Be respectful. Be appreciative. Show that appreciation. Show that respect. Also, one thing that I heard too, being a woman of color, just being honest, they were like, listen, sisters, y'all know I got, like I tell people all the time, I'm a be more girl from the peach. Well, be more girl to the peach. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I live in Georgia. I'm very outspoken. We can be very sharp with our tongue. We need to put some encouraging words into people sometimes. Unsharpen that tongue a little bit every now and then. And guess what? The other thing is, again, put words of encouragement into them, and understand that sometimes our words can empower or break someone. And that's including men. Sometimes we forget that just because they're a male, that they too have feelings, right? As a mental health instructor, I have to always remember that they too have feelings. So that was one thing they said. They said, be respectful, learn how to build and support them. And guess what? How can you do that? It depends on the man. Ask them, what do you need to be supported? Right? Like I asked these guys. Another thing one of them told me was like, sometimes it's okay to be softer, right? It's okay to be softer. Just be a little bit more feminine, softer. Um, Make them feel needed sometimes, right? Make them feel needed. That's a way to be supportive. On the flip side, one of the guys told me, listen, once you are maybe in a relationship or you're dealing with a man, just because a man is around, don't act so needy that you can't do anything, right? Show your independence, but also think about working as a team and being that helpmate, whether you are a wife or a sister or whomever, a supporter that person needs. Just because they're a man doesn't mean they're the only ones. Some like me, I don't really take the trash out when my husband is out of town. I'm taking the trash out or whatever, but you can still do things. It's like, empower them by making sure that you're independent and empowering yourself, but a balance of that soft and that independence. And this is something that I learned many years ago. I was at a place where kids were playing. It was like a jump center. And I was listening to these two men talk while I was sitting with one of my relatives. And this guy was a truck driver. And he was saying every time he comes home off the road, his wife flies away and goes and does all this stuff. And he never has any quality time. Ladies, listen, I'm guilty of this. Honestly, I have a very, very full calendar of red everywhere. My husband's like, yo, sometimes looking at your calendar is a bit frustrating for me. Make sure you have time on your calendar for them as well. Why is that empowering them? That's that quality time I was talking to y'all about, is showing you care and that they're important. And of course, that's empowering someone as well, right? And then most of all, try to understand their interests. What are they interested in? Some of the stuff you interested in, they might not be interested in. So it could be they're interested in fishing. Like, I don't necessarily want to fish, but I would like to know the skill more or remember it more. So I might go fishing. Or maybe by empowering them, I'm asking them questions about things that they know about that I can learn from them. Maybe sometimes it's great to be receptive and learn from them. I'm someone that does not like backing out in my car. And it's really hard for me to be listening to the spouse about, hey, you should do this, this, and this. But sometimes being able to listen to them, follow through, guess what? That could be empowering. Trying to think, there was one more thing that one of these guys said. I got it written down over here. Oh, empowering too could be, y'all can take this any way you like, but we grow up in the age that the man does everything, pays for everything, whatever. Sometimes acts of appreciation, maybe buying them something, setting up something, right? Those sorts of things. Empowering them might be teaching them or giving them resources on how to take care of themselves, their self-care, where you might say, hey, spiritually, that's how I'm empowered. So I go to church and that's what empowers me. But maybe that's not what empowers them. Or maybe they're not there yet. So maybe listening to them and saying, hey, what makes you feel better? What makes you feel more confident? Listening. We talked about that a few minutes ago. So what I got from these conversations with men, and also from my own understanding and just life and clients, because I told y'all I am a coach, certified coach, motherhood coach, and I am a certified marriage coach. And I work with moms. A lot of them are married, and we talk about these kind of things, sitting down and listening to them. And one thing I'm going to say, like, having honest and open conversation, asking questions. And then even if it's your brother, man, like I have two brothers. Who knows? One of them might watch this because he does Facebook. The other one doesn't do it. But a way to empower one of my brothers is simply reading and understanding what he's given me for information and knowledge. I might not agree with it, but being able to have a conversation, able to have a conversation without saying, well, you're wrong, I'm right, those sorts of things. That's what your dad or whomever. I'm going to end by this. This is such an important conversation to me because I've had the benefit many years ago to be raised by my father as a teenager into adulthood, him being a single or married parent to a different parent than mine because my mom got sick when I was young. But I learned one thing that my dad taught me: always listen to what a man says, not does, not do. So look at what he says and not what he does. Look at his words and his actions. So listening and paying attention to someone is very empowering, right? Even men. And take some time to build friendship, relationship, whatever it is with those men that are in your family, because that's empowering too. Women need engagement. Women need these workshops, all that stuff we need. I was speaking with a guy today. He had workshops and retreats for men, maybe connecting them to some of those resources. That's all I got. I'm Teresa Wright Johnson, the Mom Biz Boss, where multiple operational managers are it. And many of us are mothers, wives, sisters, and all that. Take some of this stuff. And there was one other thing this guy said. Oh, he said, listen, make sure you keep your independence. They said you can be independent and still solve, but have your independence. And he said this because he said he had an aunt that doesn't know anything about her bank accounts, doesn't know anything about anything. How can she empower someone if she doesn't have empowerment herself? So that's all I got for you.
Well, that is great. That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for the sharing that and getting it from the men's perspective from them, because you can help a person when you ask them what they need, ask them what they want. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm waiting to be in the back room to listen to some more tips so I can learn how to do it even more in my life and help my clients. Thanks so much.
You're so welcome. All right, y'all. So that was our first guest. Teresa did an awesome job, and what she did was she took the time to interview some men and said, "Hey, what is it that you need? What empowers you? What motivates you? How can we as women encourage you?" And so, thank you, Teresa, for going the extra mile to say, "This is what I want to know." Because as a coach, that's what works for her. So that works. Thank you again. All right, y'all, we're ready for our next guest. We have Dr. Monica Moore. Welcome back to On Friday Inspire. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me back. I appreciate you so greatly. So
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. I want you to introduce yourself for those who don't know you, and then take it away.
All right. So, my first and foremost, I want to just thank you, Aaliyah, for creating this space, this much needed space for us to have safe conversations with our men, to empower our kings as queens. They need to hear this. They need to hear that they're loved, supported, and cared for. So, thank you for your insight. Thank you for your stewardship, and thank you for your vision that is reaching the masses and really back on society. So, thank you for this, and thank you for having me today.
You're welcome, and thank you for coming and
You're
sharing.
welcome. All right, so let me fix my screen here. Realize I'm off a little bit. All right, so I am Dr. Monica Moore. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am a friend. I'm also a board certified pediatrician. I have a nonprofit organization called Girls Growing Gracefully. So even though I care for my own daughter, but I also have some amazing, amazing men in my life. I'm grateful to be able to be poured into by these men. I'm grateful to be able to sit down and have conversations with these men. And just like Teresa did, and I'll speak about that in a little bit, I also got some insight from some wonderful men in my life, just so that I could have a conversation with you all as well. But I will just start off by saying that one of the most fondest memories that I have in my life is my father. My father stood in line, gosh, I think 8 to 10 hours when Janet Jackson was in town for a concert. And to know my dad is to know that he is not a patient man, oftentimes. I'll never forget one time when we were in Texas, my mom, my aunt, my cousin, and myself were at the mall, and we were shopping, doing what ladies do. And we got back to the hotel, and he packed up all of our things and he was ready to go. So the fact that my dad, who sometimes is not very patient, decided that he was going to stand and wait and wait and wait in order to get Janet Jackson tickets for me was so important. It was so impactful. That meant that he recognized what would make his daughter smile, and he took the sacrifice to do that. But on the flip side of that, I will also say that one of the hardest things that I've had to watch is my once 250-pound dad, weighing being 6 feet 2 inches tall, now being in a wheelchair and having to be cared for on a daily basis by my mother. And just watching my mother care for him, nurture him, love him, stand in the gap for him, just shows me what it really means as a caretaker, as someone who loves someone, how we are supposed to be there, stand in the gap for our kings, no matter if it's your uncle, your brother, your husband, your friend. Those are the things that we need to do. Those are the things that our men need to see us do. Those are the sacrifices that we need to make. And as a Christian woman, it's also extremely important for me to pray with and pray for my husband and the men in my life, just like Rebecca did for Abraham, and she stood by his side, just like Ruth did for Boaz, how she was loyal and she was supportive, and just like also the fact that Rebecca also, she was divinely selected to be Isaac's wife, and she was there for him. She stood in the gap. So women, when you think about the things that our men need, they need us to be loving, they need us to be nurturing, they need us to be kind, they need us to watch our words and what we're saying to them. And I will also say that in addition to praying for my husband, praying for my dad, praying for the men in my family, what I will tell you is that those relationships that you form with the men in your life is so important. One of the toughest things that I ever had to experience was the loss of my dear cousin. He was more than a cousin to me. He was more like a brother. I'm an only child, so I have no siblings, but the love and the care that we had for one another, the hurt, though still there, the wound is still there, but it is made lessened by the fact that every word that I felt that I needed to say to him, I said to him. I told him that I was proud of him. He was a single father raising his two boys. I told him that I was there for him. I told him that if he needed me, that I would be there for him. I told him that I supported him in every way that I could. And even the last time that I was with him, he asked me to go and gather some items for him to have a birthday party. Now, he didn't use any of the things that I brought for him, but when I tell you that I would do it again, because that's the type of relationship that we have. So I just think about the fact that when we have relationships with people in our lives, they need to know that we care for them. They need to know that we'll stand in the gap for them. They need to know that we're going to have their back. So those are some things just from a queen perspective that I want our men to know. And I'll also say that we know that social media will depict our men in a very unfair light. Instead of seeing our men graduating from college, starting businesses, being philanthropists, being people that are supporting their families when they are not blood relation to them, being men that will bring in their cousins, their uncles, their aunts, and take care of them. Those are the things that we need to see more of. And those are the things that we're not seeing. And so as women, I want to make sure that when we're talking to our men, that we're encouraging them. Our men need to know that they are seen. Our men need to know that they are heard. Our men need to know that they are understood. And our men need to know that they're respected. They don't need to feel neglected. They don't need to feel dismissed. They don't need to feel misunderstood. And ladies, they don't need to feel emasculated. So we want to make sure that we are having these conversations, even amongst ourselves, but specifically that when we are with them, that every time we are encouraging them, every time we let them know that we're standing side by side to support, encourage, and be there for them in every way that they are doing. I'll also say one of the things that was really difficult for me was seeing my husband. Um, 12 years ago, he lost his mother-in-law as well as his nephew in the same exact day. And when I see the hurt and the tears that he shed, sometimes those silent tears, lets us know how much we need to be there for them when they have losses, lets us know how much we need to be there when they need healing. Oftentimes men aren't told they're not supposed to cry. They're told to just suck it up. Why are you crying? Man up, be macho about it. But no, they hurt and they have feelings. And we need to, as mothers of when mothers are have young men, that we need to help them with their emotional intelligence. Let them know that those emotions are real. sometimes they are raw, and that they should be allowed to have a safe space to share and to be loved on and to be understood. So those are things as women that we need to make sure that we do. And I also say, women, sometimes we just say, we got it. We don't need a man. Like Teresa talked about, that chivalry, it is still there. We need to let the men be there for us. We are so much doers, and oftentimes we won't let the men do what they want to do for us. And so if they see us doing everything, then why do they think that we need them? So, ladies, it's okay to let your guard down. It's okay to say, you know what, I'm going to let you be there for them, because our men are pillars of strength. They're pillars of strength in their families. They're pillars of strength in their jobs. They're pillars of strength in the community. And those are the things that we need to make sure that they're saying. So similar to Teresa, when I was preparing this talk, I said, let me get a man's perspective. Let me poll a few of my family members, my friends, my husband, to say, you know what? I may have my thoughts about what a man needs. I may have my own lived experience with my cousin, with my dad, with my brothers in love. But what does a man say that he needs? And so I asked two questions. I said, number one, what are some things that you want to hear from us? But I also said, on the flip side of that, what are things that we should just not say? Like, don't even say it, don't bring it up. And so a few of those things were, they want us to speak life into them, right? The words that you say are so important. Choose your words wisely. When you think about the last time you had a conversation with a man in your life, was it a positive, uplifting, encouraging one? Or were you tearing him down, berating him, making him feel less of himself? What if that's the last thing he ever heard before he left this earth? Those are the things that we need to think about. The second thing is, I was told to have more empathy. But to have empathy, you have to be able to listen intently. You have to be able to listen to what the man is saying to understand, not just to hear, make up your own thoughts about what they're saying, but listen to them, get their version of it before you jump to your own conclusion. Then you can have the empathy to say, you know what, that's your lived experience. That's what you've been through. And this is how I'm going to help you. This is how I'm going to stand side by side with you. Also, ask questions, right? Don't make assumptions. You think you know what's going on on their heads. You think you know why they responded a certain way. If you ask the question and then listen to the response, then you'll be able to understand where this man is coming from, what thoughts he's having, and then collectively you all can work together to solve whatever problem has come up. The other thing that the family members told me, to love unconditionally. You may not like everything they say, you may not like everything that they do, but to know that you're going to be there for them, that know that you're going to understand them, try to understand them, know that you're going to be there to love them unconditionally, just as they are. Men do not need you to fix them. Men do not need you to be their mothers. They have a mother, but they need you to be there as a support system, as a listening ear, and to be empathetic and caring. So that's what we're supposed to say, all right? So what do they not want to hear? What are those like, you know what? As soon as you say that, it's a wall up. I'm not hearing you. Nothing else is being understood. So one of those things is, like I said before, is don't say that I don't need a man. Don't tell a man, I don't need you for that. I can go get this, that, and all. You might be able to. But you also want to let them know that, you know what, I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you be that caring, that nurturer, that supportive system for me, because women, we need it as well. The other thing is, I was told that it says, don't tell a man that he's insecure. Again, those words that we're saying, they definitely can resonate, and they can definitely make a man feel that he is not getting the support that he needs and the support that he deserves. The last thing is, don't create your own narrative, right? So you have to have a conversation with the individual to know exactly what's going on in their heads. And so that is how you're going to understand. That is how you're going to be a support. That is how you're going to have the sensibility to be able to hear, to feel, and then respond in the way. And then ask your husband, ask your mate, ask your friend, ask your father, what is it that you need? How can I be a help to you? How can I help you in ways that will propel you, that will help you thrive, versus just sitting back, looking and saying, you know what, I'm gonna let them get that on their own because they don't want to hear, because sometimes, because they do, but it's also in the tone, It's also in how you present yourself, and it's also in the timing. I have found that out in marriage. In 12 years of marriage, it's really about my tone, it's about my posture and my timing when I have a conversation with my husband. So those are just some tips that I was, after my conversations with my family members and my friends, the do's and the don'ts when it comes to having conversations with the men. So last but not least, I think I'm done.
You know,
Okay. Last but not least, I just want to tell men you matter. Your voice matters, your life matters, the work that you're doing matters, your friendships matter, and you are leaving a legacy for those to come behind you that is going to be there forever. So take note, women, of the men in your life and let them know on a daily basis how much you love, care, and support them.
whoo, girl, I tell you, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I love how you all took the time to find out from men what they needed to be said, what they felt from their hearts. And you felt every bit of this. Um, and it, when I tell you, you were so in the spirit. Um, the conference that we have coming up in October, the theme is you matter. You're worthy,
Mm,
you're worth it. And the
awesome.
Lord said, remind the men, remind the women tonight that they matter. Remind them that they're worthy and they're worthy and worthy, worth it and worthy of it all. And so thank you, thank you, thank you.
Welcome.
We're getting some great feedback over here. Um, Kimberly said she just heard a sermon on timing. Um, she also said that's good. Trey said I needed this, and so thank you, thank you, thank you. I thank God for part one yet last week and part two continued this week. Is when I tell you very timely and so needed because that's what I was feeling in my heart. That's what I was feeling in my spirit, and we got to be able to be transparent and vulnerable enough to say what is it that someone else is needing? Not about what I need, what about what I desire, even for the shows. If God don't say it, I don't do it. You know. So thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for your transparency and helping us because we learn from each other's with such. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. You too. Y'all, Dr. Monica, she is absolutely a phenomenal, y'all. She shared, if you've missed any of this, y'all got to go back and hit the replay and listen. But she shared from the men in her life and also from life itself. And so, oh, I love how she said, her posture, y'all. I'm a scribe from the heart. Okay, so I took a lot of notes. Y'all got to go in there. But she said she loved about watching your tone, your posture, and your timing. Because it's one thing to say it like this, and it's another thing to say it like this, and another thing to say it like this. So it's all in how you say what you say in the posture of it. And are you meaning it? Or are you just saying something? Is it lip service or heart service? So thank you, Dr. Monica. I appreciate that. So finally, y'all, we got my big sister Terry Bird coming to the stage. Welcome back.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh, these ladies are bringing the fire, to on fire,
Yes,
to inspire, girl.
yes, absolutely. I tell you, they have been such a blessing. Such
Yes,
a blessing. Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
yes.
So I want you to introduce yourself to the ones who don't know you and
Yes.
then take it away.
Alrighty. Well, for those who don't know, I am Terry Bird. I'm a holistic wellness coach. I primarily help women over 40 get back to being themselves. And I am additionally like these other ladies. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm an ordained minister as well. It's been a privilege and an honor to sit and hear and listen to what these amazing women have had to say. It's really funny. Typically, that's what I would do. If I was having a conversation about men, I would go to the men in my life. I have to say that I 100% wholeheartedly agree with each and everything that each of my sisters before me shared. I think that, and it's funny because when Aaliyah asked me if I would speak, I said, Lord, what do you want me to talk about? What do you even want me to say? And I love how we did not have, this is what you guys need to understand about the timing of our God. We did not discuss what we were going to share. Aaliyah didn't say, hey, I want you to speak on so-and-so. And these other two amazing women we did not have a conversation and get together and say, well, this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to do. But you see how the Spirit of God works. We're connected even when we're not connected. And when I went to God and I said, what should I talk about today? He said, talk about partnership. Now, everything that these ladies have said about how we should talk to our men, what we should say, what we should not say, the way that we should approach, the tone of voice, 100% is true. And now I want to take a minute and I want to talk to our kings. I want to encourage you today to embrace partnership. Because you see, in the garden, God gave Adam Eve. I want to give it to you real quick. In Genesis, the 2nd chapter, starting with the 18th verse. Then the Lord God said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper corresponding to him. The Lord God formed out of the ground every wild animal and every bird of the sky and brought each to the man to see what he would call it. And whatever the man called a living creature, that was its name. Now skip down to the 21st verse because y'all can read it at home. I ain't got a whole lot of time, right? The Lord God caused a deep sleep to come over the man, and he slept. God took one of his ribs and closed the flesh of that place. Then the Lord God made the rib he had taken from the man into a woman and brought her to the man. And the man said, this one at last is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. This one will be called woman, for she was taken from man. This is why a man leaves his father and mother and bonds with his wife, and they become one flesh. Both the man and his wife were naked and felt no shame yet because they were in God's presence. So I want to talk about partnership because in the garden, that's what God intended. Why did he take Eve from Adam's rib? Because number one, he wanted her to be protected. Think about where your rib is. It's on the side of your body. Why? So that arm goes right around. So right away, she was put in a place of protection and covering, but she was also taken from his rib so she would stand right beside him. See, society says, well, the man is the head of the house. Yeah, and that is the very, very honest to goodness truth. But the woman is the neck that turns the head. And God created us to be in partnership. Not that one would lord over the other, but that both would stand next to one another under God. A two-strand cord is not easily broken. And so as much as we are influenced, as our sister, the mom biz said, right? We are influenced by social media, by what the world is telling us, everything. And then our doctor sis came on and said, stop saying you don't need a man. It's the truth. Because these are the things that have been fed to us. They've been fed psychologically into us. Even our comedy shows depict the husband as a buffoon, right? And the woman is a screaming shrew. We were meant to live in partnership, in love, in the love of God. That was how he designed it. And when you look up the word partnership in Merriam-Webster's, it says a relationship resembling a legal partnership and usually involving close cooperation. I'm going to say that again. Close cooperation between parties having specified joint rights and responsibilities. You see, we were meant to serve one another. We were meant to stand next to one another. When one is down, the other lifts up. But the enemy came into the mix and decided that we were enemies. He tried to put enmity between man and woman. He tried to divide and separate. And so instead, we sit back and go, well, he's not doing this. And men sit back and go, well, do you know she does that? It's time for us to embrace the partnership that God created us to live in. Because you see, when when we support one another, when I stand in my role as the head, as the woman of the house, and my husband stands in his role as the man of the house, then everything works symbiotically the way it was intended to from the beginning. When I'm not busy trying to lead him, and he's not busy trying to lord over me, partnership happens. And when partnership happens, amazing things happen, because then there's nothing that can stand in the way. So let that woman support you, man. Let her stand next to you when things are low, when you are feeling afraid. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable with her. Let her stand in that space and embrace that strength, because we as women, we have strength in spaces. Honey, no, we don't have the physical strength. We don't. When when I need the sofa moved, I need my husband to come, right? But when he needs that support, when most recently my mother-in-law went home to be with the Lord. So my role was to stand in support and walk him through some of the hardest moments that he's ever experienced thus far. And I have to say, it's been a beautiful process, because although it's been bittersweet, number one, we know where she is and we know that we'll be together again. But the blessing has been that I was able to be the partner, to be the strong one. And he was able to say, thank you, babe, for standing with me, for standing by me and standing next to me. When we embrace partnership, when we understand our roles, when we know beyond doubt that we are operating in the purpose that God called us for, there's just peace. There's joy. There's love. So I want to encourage the men that are listening today, embrace partnership. When she says to you, babe, you need to go to the doctor, you need to get a physical. Most men don't like health and things like that. They don't know. Go and let her go with you and let her support you, because guess what? She's looking out for you. When she's making you that healthy meal, instead of sending you to work with a greasy sandwich, it's because she wants to live a long life with you. Embrace that partnership. And trust, when we need the couch move, we're calling. We're not going to try to do it ourselves. But let's really work together. And ladies, when he's being vulnerable with you, you guard that as sacred space, as sacred time. You don't ever bring it up. You don't ever throw it up in his face, because he's opening his heart to you. When a man opens his heart to you and gives you that vulnerability, that moment, and allows you to see him in one of his darkest moments or one of his weakest moments, and draws on your strength, you stand with him, you hold his hand, you pray for him, you walk him through it. And don't you ever mention it. Oh, that's why you was over there crying. Don't you ever do it, because you will break a trust and you'll never get it back. I promise you this. So today, as all of our sisters have spoken, I just wanted to tie that bow and say, embrace the partnership. Men, let her support you. Woman, let him hold you up when times get hard, because they do. And when we work together, remember, you were taken from the side. You're there to be in that vulnerable space, closest to his heart. Live there and don't listen to all of this. I'm a superwoman. You may be, but don't be when it comes to your man. Be that strong partner. Stand next to him. Hold him up. Like all these ladies said, speak life to him and watch the things that you will accomplish together. You'll be unstoppable. This I promise you. So thank you. I'm pretty sure I'm over time.
You're fine. You're fine. There's a question in the chat. It says, when you know something is wrong, how can you get a person to talk? Some men hold things inside. So when they're closed up, how do you get them to talk?
Ask questions. Ask those questions. Ask those open-end questions. A lot of times I think, especially men, because they've been taught that to be vulnerable is weakness. And so ask those questions. I have to say, a couple of weeks ago, I asked my husband, babe, if today was our last day on earth, what do you want me to know? And it was a heavy question, especially because, like I said, my mother-in-law had just went on to be with Jesus. So we were in a heavy space. But these are questions I think that as couples we don't talk about. We don't talk about, my in-laws were together for 60 years. And these are the things, this is the stuff we're not prepared for, right? What happens one day, God forbid, when you're not there? And I think if we live in those moments sometimes about what happens when, if something happens, right? God forbid. But what do you want me to know? And he even looked at me in the moment and said, wow, that's a heavy question. I don't know that I have an answer for that. And my husband's a processor. So I'm like, well, you think about it. I don't need an answer right away, but and so every day I've kind of been asking that question. And the conversations that we've had, one of the things I was able to say to him was, I want you to know that if anything, God forbid, ever happens to me, I want you to love again. If God brings you love, don't be sitting around holding on to what we had. What we had was amazing and it'll never be duplicated. But if you're living, go live and live the life that you're able to then have. And he was like, what? And I was like, no, I'm serious, because these are questions that we don't ask. So ask your husband. Ask him. If today was our last day on earth, what do you want me to know? And don't say another word. Just be quiet. He may not answer you right away. Some men, most men are processors. They need time to ponder some stuff. My husband, them Rubik's cubes, some people they put them together, 1 2 3. My husband is going to turn that cube from one side to the other to the other, and it might be a day or two, but he'll come back and go, I was thinking about what you said. Give him the space and let him know. And sometimes I'll leave him a note and ask a question. You know your husband, right? Like you know your guy. So you know when he's going to talk. 9 times out of 10, it's not when he first walks through the door from work. Leave him alone. Let him decompress. Make him some dinner, But just start asking questions, because when you ask questions, you're not confrontational, but you're seriously curious and you want to know. Like, I'm wondering, you know, what did you dream about as a kid? What did you want to be? What do how do you feel about where we are in life now? Ask a question and you'll be amazed at the answers that you'll get.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I think you answered her question. Um, and one of the things I also like that you said was you were saying, man, allow her to be that strength that you need. Because
Yeah.
when he lost his mom, you were able to be that strength that he could lean on. You
Yes.
know, you may not have had the muscles that he had, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but you were able to pray him through and talk him through and be that support that you needed. He needed you to be at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's awesome. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. I tell you, you three ladies have been a blessing tonight to us as the women supporting the men. And I think the men got some great inspiration as well. Hearing from other men's hearts of things that they were thinking and may have wanted to say, but just ain't had the opportunity to say it or didn't know how to say it. So, yes, this has been so enlightening for many, I think. So, thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing. Thank you for your availability, and we'll see you next time. Guys, I tell y'all, these three ladies have been amazing. I hope y'all didn't miss any of the interviews. And if you did, you can go back and listen to the replay. But do me a favor, while you're over there, go over to YouTube and look up Aaliyah the Purpose Midwife, hit subscribe, like, and tell me one thing that you remember from one of the three ladies, or you can tell me multiple things, but tell me something that stood out to you or something that just said, oh my gosh, she's talking to me. I need to do this, or I need to stop this, whatever it is. I want y'all to go over to that page because we're still building the YouTube presence over there. So Aaliyah the Purpose Midwife on YouTube, go over, like, subscribe, and tell me something that stood out to you. We will not be live next week. We will be back. We may be back on the 29th. Y'all, I've been doing this literally, and I'm not like just saying anything. I've been doing this now for 10 and a half years. And so every single Tuesday, I think the only time that I took off was like a week here or there. And when my aunt was sick and I was taking care of her when she was hospitalized, because I didn't want to shoot from the hospital. But we won't be live next week. We'll be back either the 29th. If not 29th, I'll give y'all a post. It will be back on August 5th if we're not back on the 29th. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you for taking the time to listen and jump in with us. Please go support our sponsors. I put it in the chats. Thank y'all for listening. And I want you all to remember every word that was said tonight. Be that for your mate, be that for your husband, your spouse, and then be that to yourself and for yourself. Because if you can be that partner for him, then he can be that partner for you. Because it's so hard to serve somebody else when they're not serving you. So thank y'all so much again. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all can go back and listen to any of the replays because they are up. Blessings to you. See y'all soon.